Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not.
Ooh,
Okay, just had to make sure my mic was on. Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care
what?
who doesn't like it. You can't hear me.
Oh, hold on, Rebecca. I'm sorry. Everybody's having problems today because I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Man, my computer's tripping. I can hear you. Just go ahead. I got you. Look.
Okay, I apologize. My audio settings should be fine. It's been a rough morning this morning. It is Wednesday. It's feeling like a Monday. Just got off of my own little vacation, for Easter, and I am here. I hope that you guys can hear me. David, give me a thumbs up. but yes, it is Wednesday. It is currently April 20th. That means it's
You're good.
420. That's why everything is struggling because it's 420. Some of y'all done went and smoked one. Yeah, some of y'all done went and smoked one. My camera giving me a gangster lean. My camera's on 420 this morning, but some of y'all done went and smoked one this morning. That's why y'all can't handle the heat of this morning. However, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna push forward. We had a guest for this morning, and she was gracious enough through all of what's going on this morning with our technical difficulties
There we
to
go.
hop back on Imani Oakley, and she's running for Congress. And I want you guys to hear from Miss Imani Oakley, and she is, friend of a friend to the show. Hi, good morning, Miss Oakley. How are
Good
you?
morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we can hear you perfectly.
Yes.
It's all right. It's all right on this good 420, Miss Oakley. How are you this morning?
I am good. I'm good. It's a nice day here in Jersey.
Okay.
But it's not too hot because I hate the heat. So,
Oh yeah.
I'm
Mm.
doing good.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so nice to meet you, Miss Oakley. Could you let us know a little bit about who you are before we start
Yeah.
speaking about your campaign? Let the people know about exactly who you are.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Imani Oakley. I'm a candidate running for Congress in New Jersey's 10th congressional district. And the thing about me is I really believe that if we are going to get anything done, we need to fight for it. We need to be fighting for it on the
Mm.
state level. We need to be fighting for it on the federal level. We need to be fighting
Yes.
geopolitically. Because right now, especially in New Jersey, we have establishment machine style of politics that are really just seeing our neighborhoods, especially working class and black and brown neighborhoods, as mere financial and political playgrounds.
Mhm.
And that's not okay. Everyday people are losing to folks like ICE agents, to greedy developers,
Mhm.
greedy
Mm.
corporations, to union busters. We are, constantly losing as a result of these bad politics. And so I'm
Mhm.
trying to get in there, making sure that we can get some wins for everyday people. And we no longer have to be subjected to the types of oppressive, tactics by these other entities. So, that's what
Mhm.
I'm fighting for. And election is June 7th. So I'm feeling good so far.
Yeah.
That's
Imani,
awesome.
yes, Imani, you're a millennial, I might add. And so I know a lot of people are, who are already seated in those seats and who have the idea that they should be taking up those seats until God knows when. What makes you different from them other than just your age? Because a lot of people are going to try to point that out. Oh, she's just a millennial and things of that sort. So what makes you different from the rest of the people who already are seated for Congress in New Jersey?
Yeah, for sure. So, number one, I will show up to work. I will show up every day and not have one of the lowest attendance rates at
Mm,
Congress, unlike my opponent. I
mm,
will be paid 175K a year to actually put in the work to help this community. Number one. Number two, it also the policies that I will be pushing are definitely policies that we need today. We talk about things like Medicare for all and a Green New Deal and things of that nature as if there's some like super far left ideas. These are actually moderate things. These are pretty like basic things that we
Mm.
actually need, that number one, similarly situated countries already have to some degree.
mhm.
And number two, things that we actually need to move forward and survive and make sure that everyday people are taken care of.
Okay.
So I will be fighting really hard to make sure that those things pass. And then number three, who I'm accountable to. I am not backed by any corporate money. Zero corporate money. My average donation is around $32.
Mm,
And I've
Wow.
been able to outraise my opponent already 2-1 in one fundraising quarter, and I've made six figures every quarter since. So my accountability is going to be to everyday everyday people. It's not going to be the entities like Amazon, who, again, biggest union buster in the nation. It's not going to be the people like Wells Fargo, one of the biggest predatory lenders in the nation. And those are all the people that my opponent is taking money from. So that's who he's going to be responsible to. And he's also going to be responsible to political party bosses here in New Jersey who, again, are just thinking of themselves and their own wallets. And the big difference between me and him is that I will actually be fighting for everyday people, because the minute I stop fighting for everyday people, they can take away those individual donations and I won't be back. So that's the hugest difference between him and I.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big, I guess some people would look at it as a risk for you not taking, the type of donations that you're taking. You said around $32, and you still were able to show out in front of your opponent with just that. So the support seems to be, your backing seems to be huge, and the support seems to be there. It looks like you mentioned one thing, that a lot of people who are running for Congress or who are running for positions for their states. And I hear a lot of people mention immigration, right? But when they are seated, there's nothing that they really do about immigration. It may be a part of the plan, but as soon as they're seated, we don't see much. New Jersey has immigrants there, and I know that I think 1 in 6, you said, families have, or people have a parent that's either an immigrant or something of the sort. What are your plans with immigration, especially because it's such a hot topic right now?
Yes.
What are your plans when it comes to immigration?
Yes. Well, number one, I absolutely think we should be abolishing ICE. And again, this is one of those things that's painted as, oh, this is super far left and crazy. Most people don't know, prior to 9/11, ICE did not exist in this country. It is a creation of post 9/11 fear and Islamophobia. That's why we have ICE. For hundreds of years, this country existed without ICE. And now we have it. And if you go, it's interesting. If you go on the ICE website, they have like this little propaganda video, and it talks about, ICE keeping your community safer. That's why we're here. And it's very, I think, easy for someone to say that they have not kept our communities safer. If anything, they have broken families apart. They have created fear in our communities. They've created distrust in our communities. And we're still putting federal dollars into them. That makes no sense for an entity that we didn't have for hundreds of years, and things operated just fine. And then number two, for something that's not doing what it actually says it does, there is no reason why we need to keep this entity around. We can take that money and put it into much better programs. Programs, for example, that really do keep communities safe. For example, different mental health programs, different anti-violence programs, community centers, different welfare resources, right? These are things that we can take that money and put it towards, as opposed to putting it towards ICE facilities that are just breaking up families and creating distrust and disharmony in our communities. So that's number one. Number two, I want to also make sure that we are fixing DACA and any other immigration program so that there aren't these useless carve-outs. So for example, right now, there are a bunch of carve-outs that have to do with whether you are employed full-time, whether you go to school full-time, and that cuts a lot of people out. And that's not what we should be about. We should be about opening our doors and opening our arms and welcoming folks who want to come to this country and live. Because, it just should not be our values. And so I want to make sure that we are fixing any aspect of DACA or any other immigration program that has these needless carve-outs. Because right now, for example, right, all across the country, we know that we are living a lot in a gig economy. There are a lot of people who have jobs, yes, but they are not paying living wages. They are part-time, people just doing it just to keep the bare minimum over their head and the bare minimum food on their tables. Right now, under certain immigration programs, you are not eligible because you have a gig job, even if you have a job. And that doesn't make any sense. So we need to be making sure that we are looking at DACA as well as other immigration programs to make sure that these needless carve-outs no longer exist. And I would say those would be the two biggest things on my immigration to-dos, which is one, abolish ICE, which doesn't work and which we didn't have for hundreds of years. And number two, to make sure that we are fixing DACA and other immigration programs so they no longer have these needless carve-outs and we can really embrace our immigrant community with open arms.
Yeah, I love it, because I think that's a great point, that people don't understand that immigration is, or ICE, immigration officers were something that was created during 9/11. I think that's a great point that you pointed out. And while you're fighting for immigrants, that's something that they should know, because it's it's like they want you to believe that when you say abolish ICE, it's like saying abolish the police officers. I mean, which isn't too far off, but
Right.
it's like saying abolish the police officers, but yet these immigration officers were created just yesterday. But so there's so many things that you are there's so many bases that you're covering. I'm looking at, and you're hitting a lot of the points and some major issues. Another major issue right now is the housing, what we call, or we're calling right now, the housing crisis for us. We can't afford to buy a house. We can't afford to live in one. We're paying mortgage in apartments, and the rent's going up, the mortgage is going up to try to buy a house, the cost is going up, but none of our
Wages.
salaries are going up. And so with that being said, how do you plan on, bridging that gap or getting affordable housing or campaigning for affordable housing for the people of New Jersey? I know it's high priced over there too.
Right.
Here is very high. So I'm going to actually take this question in two prongs. First, I'm going to answer the wage question and then the housing question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. All right. So number one, $15 minimum wage is not enough. Right now in New Jersey, in order to have a living minimum wage, you actually need to be making $22 an hour. So what I want to do is federally make the minimum wage $19 an hour, but then also tie it to two things. Number one, tie it to inflation, because if we have to keep upping the minimum wage and having these arguments, every few years, the wage is constantly going to slip down and people are going to suffer, and then we're going to pop it up, and then it's going to slip down, and then it's going to pop up. Instead, we can fix that entirely and make sure that we're tying it to inflation, and also make sure that we are tying it to the cost of living in each region. Because again, living in places like New Jersey or California or New York is a lot more expensive than living in other parts of the country. And, a certain wage that might be livable in one part of the country might not be in another part. So we have to make sure that we are being smart about how we are tying the minimum wage to the various major regions and their cost of living in major regions, as well as tying it to inflation. So that's my plan to up the minimum wage so we can actually afford to have roofs over our head and food on our table. Number two, with housing, there are two aspects with regards to housing. There's one, the mortgage issue, which, New Jersey as of 2019 was actually number one in the nation for foreclosures, mostly affecting older Black and brown homeowners. When I was a staffer in the United States Senate, part of my portfolio was actually housing. And about 80% of my cases, and mind you, I had a portfolio that consisted of housing, taxes, student loans, consumer protection, veterans issues, and postal issues, right? But housing, my cases were like 80% housing. And what I would often see was these older Black and brown homeowners who had lived in their houses for years, for a very, very long time. One day, the bank would go, you know what, I want to sell your mortgage to a private lender. And then they would sell that to the private lender. Then the private lender would smack on all of these new fees, some of which didn't really make sense. Like, for example, a transfer fee, which doesn't make sense if you're the person paying the mortgage, because unless you consented to that, it doesn't make sense for you to get hit with that. And what it would do is it would up the price that people have to pay for their mortgage each month. So then all of a sudden, people who had paid on time, and people always talk about, oh, you have to have financial literacy. These were people who were otherwise very financially savvy, who otherwise had impeccable, like very, very good financial history. All of a sudden, because they had this unexpected upping in how much they had to pay each month, now are starting to slip and miss payments, and then they slip into foreclosure. What I want to do is I want to outlaw that practice, because right now it's technically completely legal. I want to outlaw that practice and make it that if any entity sells a mortgage to another entity, that entity can either has to keep the mortgage payment monthly the same as to what was first agreed, or make it less, but it cannot up it. It cannot add more to the monthly payment. So that's one of the things I want to outlaw with regards to the funny games that are played with people's mortgages.
Oh, yeah.
And there's also part B, which is people who are renting, right? Again, in this area, we are very close to New York, and everybody knows the rent in New York is too damn high. It's also too damn high here in New Jersey. So, what happens is people try to, get some relief from those New York prices and then come here in the North Jersey area, and developers take complete advantage of that. They up the prices astronomically, and then they build these huge monstrosities. Everybody's seen them, those huge development with huge glass windows where half the units are empty because nobody who's originally from that area can afford to live there.
Come on, somebody.
All these things pop up all over the place. So what I want to do is a few things. Number one, I want to make sure that as a country, we are making housing a human right. Okay, that we are investing in public housing and public housing with dignity. Because, you know, when you mention public housing, people have kind of a visceral reaction to it. They think, you know, they think about crime, they think about inaccessibility, they think about it's not being well upkept. What I want to make sure is that we are having public housing that has some dignity. Again, if you're looking at similarly situated countries in the West and you see their public housing, they look like some of our regular apartments here. And there is no reason, again, why a country as wealthy as ours should not be investing in building that type of public housing and making housing a human right. So that's number one. I also want to be bringing federal dollars to large municipalities and that, number one, place rent caps on developments, all developments built after 2018. And that also mandate that they have 50% affordable housing in all developments built after 2018. Housing advocates usually say around 30% is like good. And then typically you end up somewhere in like the 9% range. But I want to make it to 50 so that we can, again, make sure that we are housing every single person in the United States as
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a plan, especially with a lot of what I'll call gentrification going on everywhere. The rent is already too high in New York. The rent is already high in New Jersey because that's just the neighboring state over there. And even us in Georgia, we're experiencing, unaffordable rents. And it's in places where communities, Black and Brown communities, have lived for so long. Even their mortgages, they can't afford any longer. They're being bought out so that these like you were talking about, these buildings, where nobody can afford them with these dark windows, with these looks and all of this. Can't nobody afford to live here. And the community is now, displaced. So I love that plan. I love your plan, your fervor, your Blackness. I would think you're a walking CRT. You're a problem for these people. And I would think, especially with your relationship with Nina Turner, you are definitely a problem, but a good problem. You're good trouble. And I can't wait to see what you move forward with in New Jersey. Imani, could you let the people know how to get up with you, where they can find you and where they can support you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can check out my website, Oakley4, that's FOR, Congress.com. So again, that's Oakleyforcongress.com. You can sign up to volunteer. You can donate. Again, we're not taking any money from corporate PACs, and we're running against a guy that's taking money from big pharma, taking money from union busters, taking money from predatory lenders. So we could really use y'all's help in that area. And you can also find me on social media, all social media at my handle, at Imani Oakley, NJ-10. That's at Imani Oakley, NJ-10.
All right, girl. I love to see it. I love to
Me
see
too.
Black women
Right.
in position. Listen, we're going to support you any way we can. Imani, thank you for joining the show today. I hope that you have a great day, and we're looking forward to see where this takes you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a good one. All right, y'all. We have so much coming up in this short amount of time that we do have, but Imani was such a breath of fresh air after all those technical difficulties. I love seeing people in these positions, or who are running for these positions, who are campaigning, who are looking to make a change. And we don't see a lot of people that look like us in these positions. People are going to look at her directly. They're not going to see that she's well spoken. They're not going to see that she's well informed. They're not going to see her history. And they're not going to look at the things that she, and when I say they, I'm talking about the people who want to make her an issue because of not only that, her being Black, she's a woman. Her look isn't the same as the people who sat before her. But that is where people have to, we got to remove that. When I see her, I think about Ketanji, and I think about, things like that. But what we're going to do, we're going to continue to fight for these positions. We're going to continue to change, and all of the policies that need to be touched on, not only touched on and talked about while campaigning. These people are willing, and I feel, and I can feel in my shana, that they're willing to take these positions and actually do for every policy that they are putting and campaigning off of. So shouts out to Imani. And thanks for coming in and shading us lightly while we were like, Imani Oakley. She said, yes, my name is Imani Oakley.
Imani,
I said,
thank
yes,
you.
ma'am. Imani, we're gonna get it right today. We're gonna pronounce it. We're gonna get it right. We today, and shout out to Imani. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
But we have another guest who is family to the show, who's gonna rock out with us for as long as he can. We have Pascal today, who's gonna join. Never mind. We're gonna rewind that back. I thought we did.
Okay, take two.
Flip it and reverse it. I thought we had Pascal, but we ain't got him this morning.
Yeah, these damn coronal ejections have been messing up everybody's internet today.
Hello.
Go-
What y'all smoking
Okay.
on today?
It's-
Look,
it's the corona.
Decriminalized 100%. Wherever it's legal, I'll say, because I know that it's been decriminalized here in Georgia, but to a certain extent, amount. Because if they find you with anything else, I can't say you ain't going to jail, but I can say that some of this stuff has been decriminalized here. It is 420. I don't know what y'all doing, how y'all doing it, but whatever y'all doing, if you're working, you know what I'm saying? Be mindful. Be very, very mindful. Okay, well, how did 420 become a holiday for
Let's
weed?
talk about it. Right.
All right.
Does
So
this
one
have
common theory
song?
is that it stems
Song.
from California, California criminal code. Okay, according to CNN, California's 420 code is actually for obstructing entry. I don't really know. We're gonna find that out. But listen, I heard a lot of different things about 420. I think it's time that we remove the stigma attached to marijuana. I'm not a smoker, but I do have a girlfriends of mine who smoke, and it's just literally to keep your anxiety low, or just to hit the blunt to calm and mellow down. I think, as with anything, too much of something makes you crazy. I do think that, but I also think that, listen,
It depends on the person.
Right. It depends on your it does depend on your how you can tolerate. But
Yeah.
I have seen people who just can't function. It is a drug. If you rolling up to work every day and you can't even speak to your manager, you talking to them crazy, you feeling fidgety, you telling them that they the enemy, that's the problem. Now you start looking at your intake. But at the end of the day, I really don't think that, how we have for the last 1,000 years against our black and black communities, our black and black, I said black and black, our black and me just being too black, our black and brown communities, especially against our black and brown communities, our minorities, we have criminalized it. We have put people in jail for the amount of time somebody can get for murder, right? Somebody has gone to jail for marijuana possession,
Right.
or intent to sell, or selling, or it being found in their car, anything like that. Or some people who are now serving a certain time for being drug dealers selling weed. They have more time than murderers and rapists.
Right. Which is crazy in itself, because I ain't never smoked nothing and flipped out and went crazy, started eating people's faces off. I ain't did none of that before.
That's that
But,
hard drug. You remember when Dr. Carr came on here, Dr. Carhart, and he was letting us know you got to use responsibly. If I don't know, Dr. Carl,
knew you was
Hart,
gonna bring it up.
him. He is the professor, I believe, at Columbia, I believe it was, but he is the one that talked about responsible drug use. We're talking about responsible drug use, not only in the marijuana lane, but in so many other ones. But he definitely was somebody that I think that you guys should look up, because he talked about it. He has a book about it, and there is such thing as responsible drug use for everybody who is in the California area and who has opened up a dispensary. I know that they're predominantly white because I've looked them up, and they're predominantly white owned.
Right.
I think that grace should be given to those people, especially in those states. I think all around America, that grace should be given to everybody who is serving time for marijuana possession, selling marijuana, especially next door to these jails. There are people who have dispensaries. Right. We should definitely, I think that on 420, my push will always be a push to decriminalize it in every state, make it legal. I walked through New Orleans. People were just fine, being able to purchase a certain amount from the local stores, walk around, hit their blunt, whatever the case may be. Did it. I didn't see anything crazy going on. But anybody, even in that state, who was serving time for marijuana possession, smoking marijuana, being caught with marijuana, being high, whatever the case may be, they should be set free. Your time should not be taken away from you while the white people are becoming millionaires or capitalizing off that very thing that these
Very
people
much
who
of
are
it.
serving time we're doing. So that's my conversation with that. Happy 420 to everyone. Look, it's since it's 420, you know what I'm saying? Like, be responsible. That's all I got to say. There's so many stories that we can definitely talk about. Before we get to those, I want to have a conversation about my experience on Easter. Before I get there, Bubba, how was Easter for you? Easter, because that's what my mom said.
Easter.
How was Easter for you?
Easter. I love it. It was fun. You know, we chilled with the family, had some good food. Then we had the Easter egg hunt for the little kids, and then we had our adult Easter egg hunt, which gets pretty vicious. So it was fun. It was really fun. And the adult Easter egg hunt consists of candy, liquor, and money in the egg. So it's cutthroat in our family. It's like Uno.
Money is where I'm trying.
Money, yeah. If you find the eggs and get the most eggs, you get the most money. So let's run it.
Easter. That's the Black Easter,
right?
Like, I should have showed you guys my mama's outfit going to church on Sunday. She dragged me over there. She had her hat on. She had her little outfit on. She looked at my outfit. She was like, because I thought I'm like, I usually go real tight, you know, or fitted or nice and loose, but still sexy. So I said, this time I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go in my peasantry dress because I bought this peasant dress. It's giving me Middle Eastern, like not Middle Eastern, but like medieval time. That's what I mean.
Why is it called a peasant dress?
Because it gives me peasantry. Like.
Okay, so you came up with that.
Yeah, like I ain't got no family and stuff. But it was so cute on me. But my mama, she rude. My mama was like, "Hey, Pascal." My mom was like,
"Pascal, good morning, sir.
You're giving me like, nah. Where's the glitter? Where's the glam?" I said, "Girl, really? Just because you got that little hat on? Just because you got that little, you know?" She had a gown. Mama had a gown for church, y'all. I'll show y'all the pictures. It's hilarious. But Pascal, good morning. How are you? And how was your Easter?
Man, mine was actually really chill. You know, we usually do, like, we get a whole bunch of Haitians and Jamaicans together every single holiday. So it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, you name it, everything, right? So but this time was different. So we ended up going and doing a dinner at a restaurant, a really nice one. But yeah, we just kept it really low key this year. It was weird. It was weird. I think my mom just didn't want to cook. You feel? Because you got to bring in the food. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, I don't feel like cooking. So I'm just going to go.
Your mom lives in St. Louis?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that where you were raised?
Yeah.
So strange.
Why is it strange?
There's a lot of Haitians. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of Haitians in St. Louis. You know, shout out to my little Haiti out here in St.
Wow.
I seen a post. I seen a post. Oh, I believe. I mean, but it's just finding Haitians in certain locations because, you know, climate wise, things like that. But I've seen a post recently. Somebody was like, on Easter Day, Happy Easter to all my community of Haitians in Australia. I said, what?
Word. Yo, we everywhere.
We are.
Like, for real.
We are everywhere.
Die. We most definitely multiply.
Yes, we are. You know what I'm saying? We are out there. We're everywhere. Like, we are everywhere, and we gonna bring a flag.
Hell yeah!
You
always
find you somebody. If you gonna date somebody, right? You need to find you somebody that's gonna love you and that's gonna represent you, like the Haitians represent their flag.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
And just you know, you know, somebody loves you if they at least try to learn how to cook some of the food.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of it. I'm not saying all of it, but just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
There goes your Haitian man side coming out. My God.
My Haitian friend don't know how to cook no Haitian food.
Yeah, that's the Haitian man side. That's the Haitian man side.
Yeah, you said what you said, Bubba?
I said my Haitian friend don't know how to cook no Haitian food.
See,
it's that side of the world too.
Yeah, I'm a Haitian woman, and growing up, I was the one that when they used to say, you know, come and watch us cook, I used to be like, the basketball court with my brothers is like right there. Right. So I would just go with them while my sister was like cleaning the meat off with lime, lemons, because that's how we do it. While she was cleaning the meat off, you know, with my aunties and my mama. But I think I'm at the place now, you know, because I like to date my men foreign. Haitian, and you know, francophone Africans, and they like to eat. So I've been in the kitchen because if you know, and I know that we talked about this before. This is where I take a little bit of tradition And and then me being a 2022 woman, right? Who the ones that became Kevin Samuels be talking about. This is where I take them both and I have to merge it because I'm like, you ain't gonna talk to me crazy. But I'm gonna make sure I feed you though, because you dating a Haitian woman, legacy is legacy. I can't be walking through life and not being able. But I ain't gonna cook for everybody either. Don't be walking in this house and demanding me to cook. I'm gonna cook because I love you. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure that you fed in this household. But you gotta have a balance.
The balance. So I can't stand you.
The two sides of Rebecca right there. We just saw it.
Yeah,
it's like 5 of them, Pascal.
It's not 27, and I ain't even no Gemini. But I wanted to talk about this. I know that the mask mandate real quick because I wanted to share my experience on the plane recently. Delta Airlines. The mask mandate has now, been dropped for many states, statewide, nationwide, and I just saw that Lyft has actually dropped their, requirements for you to have the mask going on for the ride
in the car. Oh wow!
So while I was on the plane that day, which was yesterday, when I was flying out, they just dropped the news, and I called Delta before me traveling. I wanted to ask them like what that was looking like. They were like, well, you don't require any, because I said maybe I want to change my flight to one that has less people on it if there's going to be so many people that don't have on masks.
Right.
And so they were like, well, it's not required anymore. It was just attitude, right? And I needed to get home. And it was just attitude, all that, whatever the case may be. I get onto the flight. I have my mask on. And I was pleasantly surprised to see many people with their mask on. However, in Palm Beach International, I'm from Palm Beach. So in Palm Beach International, they don't require you to have masks. So a lot of people were walking around maskless. On the planes, they put on their masks. Some people took them off. And even the flight attendants were maskless, all in your stuff. Then one didn't have on gloves, taking people ice with an ice cup. No gloves. No gloves.
No glove, no love.
As I was, listen, no glove, no love. That's
no
right.
Glove, no
That's
love.
right. That's right, Bubba. But
you're not only pasta,
yeah. as I was watching this go down, I actually overheard. I turned off my Jasmine Sullivan that was blaring in my ear because I saw this flight attendant just having this conversation with some far right people. I would say they're far right. They look far right. I know we can't judge the book by its cover, but when I did turn off Jasmine Sullivan in my ear, the conversation that was going on included them. I don't know why they had us wearing masks all those times. That's just some kind of conspiracy, things like that. And the flight attendant told him as people began to walk off the plane, happy liberation. I mean, happy liberation to you all.
Are you serious?
Couldn't believe it with my own 2 ears. And I said, don't say anything, Rebecca. This is just get off of this plane in peace. And, don't say anything. So I waited for my turn to get up and she looked at me and I said, don't. And that's all I said. And I continued to walk off. I felt very uncomfortable. I said, imagine the people who have family members who have died, who are on this plane, or friends who have had COVID or they've experienced COVID. And the mask probably has been something that helped them, or, things like that. When you're saying happy liberation, it's kind of like, forget everybody, and why we wore masks and things like that. Forget COVID. You guys are now free to get each other sick, possibly, and whatever. It just didn't sit right with me. And I don't like the whole dropping of the mask mandate, especially now. For me in my house, as for me in my face, we're going to stay masked up.
Yeah, that's real, Rebecca.
I'm with it 100%. I don't get how I get that everybody's excited about being free, okay, from having to wear a mask and all that. But here it is. I agree with y'all. I'm still going to be wearing a mask when I get on.
Yeah.
I don't trust nobody. But the fact that the staff is almost like they're just ripping a Band-Aid off and they're just going back to being straight up nasty. Yeah. I can't really, because you realize how nasty we were.
Yeah.
Planes or in public transportation, in any public transportation type of things, you realize how nasty we really were. So it's kind of like, actually, everybody who works on like planes, trains, and automobiles, why don't you stay doing that?
Yeah.
It feels it may not be it may still be nasty as hell, but still maybe it's just the theater of sanitation in my mind. You know,
no, it really is.
And I'm like, just stay with it. Like if surgeons found out that they could just take off their masks whilst open your chest up and doing the surgeries, would you want them to still put all their nasty, grubby ass hands in your heart, on your heart, and inside of your body
after eating all kinds of food? Just coming in.
Oh, man. Keep wearing the mask. You keep wearing the gloves. You know what I'm saying? And I will have a large fry with that. Thank you very much. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's real, because especially Rebecca, for that lady to get up and say Happy Liberation Day, first of all, shut the hell STFU, and
she
then liberation. Of course she was, because you talking about liberation, girl. Don't you dare say liberation to me, because
I want to be oppressed so bad.
So bad. Y'all want to be oppressed so bad. And if y'all do that, I'll oppress you. Just come over here. I'll put my foot on your neck. I'll oppress you.
You know, for a fact, she was probably wearing one of those "Let's Go Brandon" masks off the plane, because apparently
off the plane,
on the plane, but off the plane. You know, for a fact, she has that, stuffed in a drawer somewhere. Real talk.
I believe it. And what's crazy, like you said, Bubba, me hearing her say liberation, it bothered me. You know, because it's like you guys felt oppressed for wearing a mask. You felt like your rights were taken away from you. We've been trying, when we use the word liberation as people who are actually oppressed, it has so much weight to it. And when I hear people using something so small and making it seem like that was oppression to them, when it was something that was created to save lives, to protect people. And then, like you said, Pascal, we realized how nasty people really are. It was something for us to just maintain sanitization, safety, and protect each other if we're going to be around each other, if we're going to take risks like get on a plane or things like that. So it bothered me to hear that. But in in recent news, the Biden administration said that it will likely appeal the federal judge who made that ruling. It's going to appeal that new mandate that they put on planes and other forms of public transportation, how they removed it. The DOJ and the CDC disagree with the district's court's decision and will appeal, subject to CDC's conclusion that the order remains necessary for public health. And we already know who are going to be the people at the forefront trying to fight this. The main ones as before. We're going to see people like Kemp, like Governor Kemp, at the forefront of this. We're going to see DeSantis at the forefront of this. We're going to see we're going to see Mr. Texas at the front of this. Abbott. We're going to see all of them join together to form the big boy Transformers, so that they can fight
the Regent Voltron.
You're right. They can definitely transform and they can fight what Biden is trying to do here. I'll say that I like that Biden is going to appeal it. Hopefully, because we can't be talking about coronavirus being something that's so serious. And right now, even in Atlanta, the numbers are starting to spike up again. We can't be speaking in this particular moment that we're going to be going into lifts and, public transportations and not utilizing our masks. We cannot say that is okay as of right now. It's okay because the world is open. You mad because you just had to put your mask on while the world is open. You asked for the world to be open. Georgia never closed down.
And I don't know about y'all, but have y'all not been on a plane where there's not anyone coughing on the plane?
Oh my God. They were sick. Oh, baby. What was it? First class, which is not really first class to me. As I walk past,
it's not at all.
I get the same head support in the back there. I don't know what's so serious about this. But on Delta, on the newer planes too, it's like, girl, what is it? There is no it's no privacy. What door are you shut? I mean, you're using the same bathroom.
Isn't the only difference is like you just you could get a comforter if you want, or like a little blankie.
You get free drinks. That's it. You get free drinks. And let me tell you how I know this. When I went to Jamaica, my friend was sitting in first class and I was in the seat literally right behind first class. And it was one of those things where it's just like, yo, I'm not missing anything. And so he's just passing me drinks behind behind me.
Go,
like, hey, here's your cocktail, bro.
And there was no difference. But those people in first class, all they was doing was
that's how it usually goes down, right? Nasty. Nasty.
Y'all stick up in first class.
No. Every plane, every flight.
Yeah.
First class. All of them. You just see something matter. It doesn't matter. Somebody go.
Oh no!
The kids,
Speaking of 420, it's like somebody took a big bong hit. You know what I mean?
and his eyes, the cry, the one where you're like,
right. And I'm that type of person. I'm trying to hold it in because I'm like, Lord, I don't want nobody to think I got corona. I'm just trying to hold it.
And we're still living in that time. You walk around me with no mask on, or in my vicinity. If I'm at Target and you are maskless, and you are in this 6 feet or less than 6 feet behind me, near me, around me, and you go, ooh.
You can go
right, Rebecca.
What is your problem? What is your problem?
Place, you can sit on the toilet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
For the rest of the flight, please.
Okay. Just go. Just go.
And then on the plane, y'all, listen, I was looking and I said, my God, when they opened the bathroom door, she had that cart of water. She was opening the bottle and there was a passenger wanting to walk by. First class, they had to treat them with first class. So they backed up. Somebody opened the bathroom door. That bottle of water is open. All the whiff from the bathroom is going inside the bottle. Now they backed up a little bit and gave poured that water in. It was just too much happening. But anywho, where your mask? Where your mask?
And here's another thing. Speaking of that. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a mask. You can still smell that ish. So if you go boo-boo, if you go number 2,
yes,
in that little, in that bathroom, everybody in that plane going to smell that. Okay,
it's given.
All the fecal matter just
it
flying.
seeps through. And for God forbid you on Frontier or Spirit.
Oh God,
the whole plane smelling like the toilet. You just riding Greyhound in the sky. Seriously. You just it's a lot. You just gotta take it too, right? So it's not your breath, even though under that mask, it's struggle breath happening. It ain't your breath. Now imagine not just your breath, but the bathroom just rolling through,
just all that
rolling through.
Here's another.
I'm so glad I've never had that experience on a plane. And I swear, if I ever did, I think I would probably just jump out that shit.
What you said? What's your next point, Pascal?
I was just gonna say, just don't drink any heavy cream, eat jalapenos, or any heavy cheesy things before you get on the plane. Because if you got to go number 2 and it's a long ass flight, everyone is marinating in that funk that you just left.
That's gonna be a 3-hour flight. Oh God!
Some people don't care.
Don't go boo boo.
Yeah,
just don't do it.
Same just people that don't want to wear their mask be the ones that got the eating the cheese and all that, and then try to come on the plane. Disrespect you 3 times.
They're all right. That's the same dude. That's the one dropping a big chunky deuce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Happy liberation. She's the one opening your water bottle towards the open bathroom door and then putting it in your happy liberation. Yeah. That's her.
And fixing your drinks without gloves and spending all her little nasty ass white hands on my ice.
Ice cubes.
I want another one.
Your fingers. Oops, I didn't mean
right.
Oops, I did it again. But anywho, we have I don't know what else I have. I don't know what else.
You don't know what life is right now.
There's a lot.
Rebecca's been celebrating 420, Pascal. That's what it is.
I was going to say, are the edibles?
I don't smoke. Like I've hit the blunt before, but I'm not a 420 kind of gal. It don't for me.
I'm a connoisseur, so
yeah.
Happy 420, everybody.
How do you intake your marijuana? Like, that's what I'm saying. Some people roll up and
not going to Pascal. What?
Are you a vape? Are you one of the people that vape it? Are you one of the gummies?
It's multiple ways. I like to roll mine up. Either roll it, either bong or vape. So yeah. I
want to love you.
I want to love you every day and every night.
See, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. How do you consume?
How do you partake?
Yeah. How do you partake in the 420 holiday? But how do you consume your CBD, THC? I don't know what they're calling it these days. Weed, marijuana.
Some other people call it the devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce. Yes. Mary Jane.
Trees. Gasoline.
Gas.
Gasoline.
Yeah, they call it gas.
You gotta go get
Yeah, here in Atlanta, they smoke good gas.
You
In Atlanta, Florida is good
on
gas.
that stank.
No, but I thought gasoline was cocaine. Gotta got.
Oh hell no!
Just no. Okay, sorry.
Mm-mm.
You know what? Here it is. If ever I do it, it's very, very rare. Because I'm always high.
I'm high off of life.
I'm always high all day.
Yeah, you and Pascal, y'all like the high life kind of people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already have high energy as it is.
Yeah.
But if I do, it's I don't know. It's usually a blunt or I've done vape. I don't know the vape. Man, those pens, those oil pens. Let me tell you something. Those things are dangerous, y'all. Let me just say
they are.
The one with the button and you have to wait for it to light up, and then you hit the button and then you take the hit, but you don't know how much you're really taking, and then you just gone. Or edibles too. Like you take just a corner and you could feel like you're tripping on acid. So for me, yeah, I if I partake, it's very few and far between. But I prefer a joint or a blunt and keep it simple. Just
keep it simple, right? Edibles, I've done edibles before.
I'd like to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to see
exactly.
Because I keep thinking, what else is in these oils, man? This is not natural.
And then with edibles, edibles are cool, but I hate the activation time of edibles.
Yeah.
Like if I'm smoking regularly, then it'll hit me then. But if you're taking the edible, it's just like, okay, it's been an hour and I'm not feeling anything. And next thing I know, I'm at work and then boom. What was I talking about?
Oh, is that for you? Because I can tell you when I don't know if I told the story on air, but I think now since it's passed and I'm a new person in my life, I can now discuss this. I went with I went to Kentucky to go visit my best friend, and we were chilling, having a good time. And when we get together, I know she likes to say, "You don't never drink with me. You don't even smoke with me. You don't do that." Like she did nothing, right? So she'll throw that at me. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead. I'm gonna have a good time since I'm here with her. We having girlfriend time, whatever. I was like, girl, I ain't gonna smoke nothing, but you got, we could do the gummies. We could do the gummies. She was like, girl, I don't even do the gummies. She's looking at me like, I got some up there. She's looking at me, I got some up there. And it's like, you had to climb up on the little kitchen thing to grab it because that's how high she put it up. She want no parts of it. I was like, no, girl, I'll just try one. I had one. Hours passed by. We got the house together because it was Valentine's Day. We got the house together. It was all good. Child. I said, girl, it ain't really hitting me like that. Let me get another one.
Oh God.
Let me tell y'all. I took another.
You don't say that.
Right.
And she's looking at me. She even said, Rebecca, are you sure? Like that, you sure? I'm like, girl, it's not hitting me. Like, let me get another one. Now, mind you, I don't smoke. Like, I don't do it. None of that. So I took another one. I went and then, she doesn't really she doesn't smoke like that. She really just hits the blunt, relaxes. Like, that's what kind of girl she is. She's a relaxed person. So she was smoking. So I said, let me get that. She was like, okay, Rebecca. So this is me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in there. Y'all, within 5 minutes, I'm like, are you gonna be done with the food soon? I don't eat chips like that, especially Lay's. I don't like original Lay's. Don't fight me in the comment section. She said, Rebecca, I got some snacks. You're not eating this food. We're getting prepared for tonight. Like, we're getting the snacks and stuff ready for tonight. Oh, okay, I need something. I need something.
Wow.
So the bag of chips got to me. The way I was eating the chips. I'm so hungry. Then I got up, y'all, and I started just I was talking to myself without talking to myself. It was so loud. It was so loud.
You turned into a crackhead.
Oh my God.
Right.
It was so loud. Wow. My voice was so loud. I felt like everybody could hear it. Oh, shoot. No.
Now the paranoia. Oh,
now
man.
I said,
the paranoia.
I gotta go to the hospital. I said, but will they know if I'm high? I said, Am I going to ever come down from this high, or is this the person that I am for the rest of my life? And I have to find a way to live like this.
Will I ever be the same again?
I said, maybe this is who I am.
Am I high? Where am I at right now?
I started to do my eyebrow in the
life?
bathroom to act like I'm getting ready. So I started to do my eyebrow in the bathroom.
How long you on that eyebrow?
And here goes me. My best friend was like, Rebecca, are you okay? This is me. I like literally turned to her. She's answering all my questions, and I'm like, she's like, how are you feeling? She's like, are you feeling crazy? Are you hearing like she's like, are you feeling like you're hearing voices in your head? You feel she's like, you're okay. Do your eyebrow. Like she had to be calm with me. She's like, it happened to me once. Look, this is how she did it. It happened to me once. I went crazy. And she walked away. Do your eyebrow. I was like, I gotta do my eyebrow. Then I'm like, should I trust anybody in this household? Are they laughing at me? Am I gonna mess up the party? Because I don't want to mess up the party, but I'll mess it up. I'll mess it up. I was going so crazy. And then I went to go after I got dressed. I sat on the couch like this.
If I don't
she said, Rebecca, are you okay? She's like, because you're never quiet. You are never quiet. And I said, if I sit here, I won't ruin the event. I won't ruin the party. If I sit here like this, I won't ruin it. I won't have to call the police. I won't have to call, and I would never call the popos, but I won't have to call the ambulance. I won't have to do that. So thank God that it's a mental thing. I was able to get it, and I was able to calm down and eat the meal and have a good time. So baby, I was over there like.
So somebody said in chat that your internal voice is David.
It probably was. It wasn't David. It was Dwayne.
It was Dwayne.
It was Dwayne. Okay, and I just got Dwayne out of there. So I had to.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But that's my 420 story.
Wow. I got a question for you though, and maybe Bubba can answer this. When you get that high, when you high as hell, what do you do to take it down? What's a trick or what's something that you can do? I mean, I'm sure some people are partaking right now, probably for the first time. Yeah. And most likely put an edible and saying the famous last words of, oh yeah, that one wasn't kicking. Can I get another one? Maybe I should get another one. Well, first off, don't do it. But if you do, isn't there something that you can do to kind of high a little bit?
You can crossfade, which is you basically smoking and then crossfade. Crossfade. You can drink a beer or something. And right, I'm a professional here. Come on, look at these lips, man. They're black as hell. You can have a drink, and the drink will actually start leveling you out. But then you got to worry about being drunk and high at the same time. Even though they're going to equal out and start balancing, it's still a lot to deal with. Me, I'll just lay my ass down somewhere. I'll eat and I'll lay down. The more still you are, the better. And then just like, okay, just let me go to sleep for a minute because I'm too high right now. I need to go to sleep. And just relax yourself. If you relax yourself and just woosah, then it'll start going out a little bit quicker.
My friend referred to it as being stuck. And
stuck.
When I think you have to get to a point, like I said, a mental thing. And this is from my experience. I ain't no smoker. I ain't no expert. I'm not experienced in this place. I've dated a lot of smokers, and they smoke all day, all the time. But as for me and my throat, as for me and me, I just can't. For me, when she told me, Rebecca, you're stuck, I said, I can't be stuck. I can't be stuck. I have to move forward. I think after 5 minutes of doing that, myself was trying to, it was almost like literally being in Get Out. I felt like
I was gonna say you in the sunken place.
You in the sunken place.
I was falling, the sunken place. And I was just like, tears were falling down and I couldn't say nothing. So for me, I had to get that mental side that was fighting to fight back. So I'm like, once I kept saying, Rebecca, you are okay. I was screaming that in my head. Rebecca, you ain't nothing wrong. Ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
Catch it. You have to catch it. Yep. Get your balance and ride the wave. Don't hit nothing else. Enjoy this high that you're on. Like you're high.
Yeah, and that's why I don't really like smoking with people because or while I'm out, because people want to go out and do everything. When I smoke, I'm ready to chill. I ain't trying to do all this extra stuff, because when I start doing all this extra stuff, that's when it's just like head going all over the place, and it's like I start tripping.
Everyone.
But you sound like that's a pro thing. You a pro. Bubba, you a pro.
Yeah.
But these guys out here that are like, oh, we go smoke some weed, we go out to the club. They novices, so they want to go out and experience being high. You know what I mean?
A whole assholes.
Like half baked. John Stewart was like, you ever seen a movie, on weed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of people do that. They'll sit there and go, hey, let's go and smoke, and then let's go party, because they're novices. But
it's supposed to be something to mellow you out.
Yes, but I feel like people are wanting to go and experience things on weed all the time.
Right. Like now I will say
Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white.
I hate you, Rebecca. But like for real, like if you go smoke and watch a movie, it helps you analyze so much of it. You just gonna sit there and like, damn.
You're gonna be like,
real?
I'm a room full of fake ass people drinking colors and talking trash.
You start looking.
Everybody's home. That's it.
You start looking around and be like, and then you know what I was saying in my head? I was like, that's why I ain't really got no friends. And this is my one real. This is me giving my friend props in my head, because my friend came to me to check up on me, but she was like, Rebecca, you good? Like you good? I've been there. You gonna be fine. You gonna be okay.
You okay,
like,
girl?
You know what? She a friend. Because I start at first. I'm like, is she really on my side? But when she came, she was like, you okay? You gonna be fine. Everything is good. And she let me be, because she know how I am. Like, you got to leave me alone. She was like, you gonna be fine. Like, I'm like, that's a real girl. Real, man. Ain't nobody real like her. Like you said, yeah, that's what I was doing. Like,
you, girl, you're a real friend.
My best mother friend right
now.
Like,
hey, girl, hey.
You start looking at people for who they are. Yeah. But that's why I don't really mess around with them others, because it wasn't. I can't.
You're a real one.
In good news, earlier this month, I don't know if we covered that, but we probably did, But it's great because today is 420. In this month of this year, the House passed a bill to federally decriminalize marijuana. The vote was 220 to 204. Republicans Tom McClintock of California, Brian Mast, and Matt Gaetz, both of Florida, joined the majority of Democrats in supporting the bill.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They did. While Democrats Henry Sellier of Texas and Chris Pappas of New Hampshire voted against it, the bill sponsored by Democratic Representative Jerry Nadler of New York will prevent federal agencies from denying federal workers security clearances for cannabis use, and will allow the Veterans Administration to recommend medical marijuana to veterans living with post-traumatic stress disorder, plus gains revenue by authorizing a sales tax on marijuana sales. The bill also expunges, let's talk about this part of it. The bill also expunges the record of people convicted in non-violent, because they call it cannabis too. We forgot to name it cannabis offenses, which House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said can haunt people of color and impact the trajectory of their lives and career indefinitely. And that is very true. So hopefully they continue on with this and they push this and they act the same way that this passed. They act on it. They make sure that all those people who are in jail, okay, for nonviolent cannabis offenses or marijuana offenses, weed offenses, CBD, THC, gasoline offenses, they're able to come out, because it does affect your trajectory and you making a way in the world if you've been in jail for about 5 to 10 years, doing a bid because you were selling to make sure that your household had food because you couldn't even get a job. So yeah, I hope that they definitely I like that. So in this month, and it's 420 right now, we're speaking about it at least with the positive, with like, it has positive. We have positive connotation with it in politics right now. Like we have stories, we have bills that are being passed with it. Last year, we were saying, y'all need to decriminalize everywhere. And now we can say there is something happening where people that we don't even like joining in on the cause, of course, to capitalize on it. But
hell yeah,
it can help people that look like us, be free from,
right.
circulating, and that's good.
Yeah,
it's about damn time.
yeah.
But yeah, obviously they're going to be legalizing it throughout the entire country. It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
They see the amount of money they can make off of it. Let's be straight funky on it. People, less and less people are going to tobacco, so they need something else that they can put their taxes on as well. So
That's true.
they're going to see the benefits of that, and obviously it comes from the ground. It's from Mother Nature. There's so many great health benefits to with it. If you use it, all that stuff. I see more and more people going towards cannabis, whatever, more than they are going to other types of chemically made medication and all that,
right? And opioids
and all that stuff. So
Dr. Carl Hart could definitely walk us through all the different drugs that you should definitely use responsibly. Shouts out to Dr. Carl Hart, wherever you at. You help me look at drugs different because Black folks that get on drugs, that have a drug habit or whatever the case may be, they either will get thrown in jail. The ones that are selling it, whatever, they get thrown in jail. They don't get to go to rehab. They don't get to help their lives. And we've seen white folks who are abusing drugs who get the opportunity to go to rehab or get their time or whatever, their records expunged or get their time lowered. But when you look at Black people and drugs, there is a big discrepancy. And I guess there is, I can't say it's a discrepancy. I will say, we can juxtapose it to one with the other. Black folks, drugs, jail time. We won't hear Black folks, drugs, rehab.
Yeah,
they don't get that opportunity.
That it's funny that would be a nice series of events, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for our community. But hopefully, man, I would love to see that go down that route sometime soon.
Yeah, because everybody needs help. It's not because of the color of your skin or whatever the case may be. Oh my gosh, because I'm white, I get to go to rehab. It's different when I'm Black. I'm strong enough to go and pay for a crime just for selling or utilizing drugs. Now I have to be jailed for it.
You know what sounds messed up? Can I this is a random thought in my head, but a lot of times you hear about these white kids, right? They get in trouble with drugs or weed or whatever, and they go to these luxurious rehabs, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have the black kids, basically the same story, same crimes almost, comparable, right? And they end up getting locked up, right? What if they were to flip it? What if they were to flip that? If they did it to the white kids and they did the rehab to the Black kids, would the Black kids go, damn, these luxurious rehab centers, by the way, these kids would be like, damn, this is how the other half lives? Mm-hmm. Oh, right. I want to be better. So then they come out better. And then you do the scared straight to the white kids.
Talk about it.
See what I'm saying? And then they go over there and they go, oh my God, I never want to do this again. And everyone's on the straight and narrow and everyone has a merry little Christmas.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Right.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I would pay to see that happen.
Yeah, I would love to see it. They wouldn't be able to handle it like right there and right. They wouldn't
places.
Well, Ice Cube, and we'll go ahead and let you wrap up because I know you have your show to go to. But Ice Cube did a show long ago where he had the people in blackface but living as Black people, and the white folks, I guess you call it whiteface, and living as white people, and for them to see the difference. And I think, as terrible as that was, looking back, the white folks were able to walk away and actually see what it was like to live as a Black person. And they were like, it's tough. It's tough out here in these Black streets. So
Rebecca, that almost sounds like a wife swap, just with the Black and the white families.
It is the same. Trading places, wife swap, all of that. It's all pretty much the same. But I would love to see, because I don't think they could take the heat. I feel like David is yelling at me in the background. He's been sending me all kinds of messages, and there's messages in the thread, because I need to make sure that Pascal gets to go in respects to his show. Pascal, what are you going to be talking about on your show today?
There's some updates about this recent murder from this 51-year-old woman in Queens that passed away, that was taken unalived or whatever, murdered. And then
I saw you put the word unalive. I said unalive.
Right.
Unalive. She dead.
here it is. If you want to be able to monetize your stuff, there's a lot of things on YouTube you can and cannot say.
Oh,
so I try to dance around these things using different code words, and like instead of saying suicide, I say Sean Kingston because I can't say that word.
Wow, well, that's very clever of you.
So thank you. You know what I mean? It's the poet in me. You know what I'm saying? I write a
poet laureate.
No, but on some real stuff. This woman was basically murdered, stuffed into a hockey duffel bag, and then just discarded off the side of the road. So there's this big investigation going on with it. So I have some more updates about that. So we'll be talking about that here very shortly.
That happened in, you said New York?
New York, yeah.
Yeah, in New York, Queens. Like rich part of Queens too. Really nice $2.1 million house that she lived in. This neighborhood was nice. But then also I'll be talking about some new updates about Jada Pinkett Smith and Red Table Talk. So we got a bunch of things to talk about today. And
did Will Smith come to the table? Oh, I guess I'll have to find out on your show. If you guys don't know, make sure to tune into Pascal show. What time is it coming on today?
I should be on at 10.
Okay.
10 Central Time. So 11 Eastern.
Okay, because I'm like, we don't live where you live. We don't got that same time. Right. Okay, so 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's in about 30 minutes from now. We got to make sure you get prepared for that. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like the Pascal show, and make sure you tune in at 11 a.m. And we'll be back here tomorrow with more Like It or Not. Sam.
Yeah, and real quick before we get out of here, I took my wife to the market and we still looking at one of the fruits for half an hour. Not the Apple Watch she was expecting, apparently.
Again, we will be seeing the technical difficulties on tomorrow. Thank you for dropping that last minute joke. I actually kind of like it. Go enjoy, guys. Love you guys so much. Happy 420. I'll see you tomorrow.
You stupid, man.
Y'all know I ain't got no goddamn sense. Love y'all, mean it, man.